Week 2 was not about losing weight. I had to travel for work, so therefore I wanted to maintain, which is exactly what I did. So my weight was exactly the same as it was last week, but here's the interesting part. My belly is down 1.5 centimeters, and I did not track any food this week. If you're new here, this is my 2026 body transformation series. I lost a lot of weight last year, I took a big break over Christmas, and now I'm rebuilding properly, with weekly check-ins to show what is working and what is not working for my body transformation. This week was intentionally a maintenance week, as I was traveling for work and knew that my nutrition was not going to be perfect, and that's exactly what I did. So let's start with the scale in this week's video. On the screen now is me measuring my body weight for week 2, and as you can see, this is exactly the same as last week, which is not disappointing. That was the goal, right? The objective for week 2 was very simple: to not gain weight whilst traveling. No panic cutting calories, no trying to make up for it afterwards, just holding it steady for the week, whilst enjoying myself and not saying no to the social events, which was important for for the purpose of my work trip. So now this is where it gets really interesting. So despite maintaining my weight to the 0.1 pound, I lost 1.5 centimeters around my belly. So this just proves that progress is not always reflected on the scale, but also in measurements and progress photos, etc. So now what likely happened is I'm still probably losing water weight and inflammation from my 20-pound weight gain over Christmas. It could also be an early sign of body recomp. I'm hitting the gym more than I was before Christmas, and my strength is going up, so it could possibly be returning muscle mass from before. So even in the week when nothing was perfect, my waist still moved in the right direction. Gym-wise, the plan was 3 full body sessions last week. However, I only managed 2 out of 3 sessions, and this was not for lack of trying. So whilst I was in the Netherlands for the first half of the week, I did manage to find a gym local to the office and get a good full body session in there. It was a mad experience for me. I don't like going to the busy gyms by myself anyway, so going to a gym in a foreign country was really out of my comfort zone. However, I still went, and the gym was amazing. It was massive. There was 3 times every piece of equipment you could ever think of. However, it was really packed. It was really busy, but I still got the session done. The second session of the week that I missed was due to travel delays. I was delayed at Amsterdam airport by quite a while. I did not get home until just before midnight that night after a long day of traveling. So I did not go to the gym then. I prioritized getting my sleep in, which is also very important, right? And on Friday, I got my 3rd planned gym session in, which is obviously my 2nd for the week, which still felt really good. So despite only going to the gym 2 times after the 3 planned, I still made good progress in the gym. My strength still went up, and I still feel good about getting in what I did. I could have very easily not gone to the gym at all this week because of traveling, but I still got it done. So nutrition this week was completely untracked, as I've already mentioned. This is primarily due to the travel for my work trip, but I also wanted to see how I would fare not tracking at all for the full week, and I still maintained, right? So I still hit my maintenance goal, which shows that I'm on the right track for what I deem to be my maintenance calories. I made better choices when I could. However, not understanding the menu half the time did not help, and I kept getting recommendations of what to eat. So I took them, right? However, I still intermittent fasted, so I still missed breakfast, like I always do. I don't really eat until about 1 to 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and stop eating around 8, 9 p.m. in the evening. So I still stuck to that. I still got my steps in, and I just went the whole week on tracking, and it came out successful. So let's talk about steps. So my target was 10,000 steps a day. However, I averaged last week at 9,297 steps per day, which was 700 short of my target. So on the days where I was traveling, I used the extra time at the airport to get my steps in. So those days I reached about 16,000 steps, which is way above my target. However, on days where I was in the office a lot, did not have my walking pad at home, which is my secret weapon, I went about 7 to 8,000 steps on those days. So the stronger days did help out the weaker days, and I was very close to my 10,000 steps a day. However, that was not a goal hit this week, and next week I will strive to achieve the 10,000 a day. So when you put it all together, I still consider last week as a win. I maintained my weight, which was the overall goal. I still lost 1.5 centimeters around my waist, which was unexpected. My steps, although were slightly below the target, were still kept high. And I had no stress of tracking whilst traveling for work, because the work stress, I could have easily have just binged and gained weight this week. But I still maintained 1.5 centimeters down on my waist, and my step count was still high. So I consider this week as a win. So on the screen now is my weekly progress photo or video, side by side. So I've put on the left last week's versus this week's on the right. And the reason why I've done that on this video is because these are both at the same weight. And if you look closely, I can see a difference in the body, in the belly, right? So I can see a difference in the size of the belly. I look a bit more puffed out on the left on last week's than I do on the right, and my upper body does look a bit more fuller this week as well. So that to me is also a win. And on the screen now is going to be a comparison between the starting point and also today. So you can see the weekly progress every week as I will put together a collage right at the end of my body transformation. But every week there is a segment in the video to show what I look like at the present time. So going into next week and the week after, my plan is still to eat some maintenance calories to see what my weight and my baseline is at the end of January. So for macros, it's going to be exactly the same as last week and the week before. So I'm going to stick at 2,470 calories, which is 180 grams of protein, 70 grams of fat, and 280 grams of carbs. I'm going to stick to 10,000 steps a day on average. And I'm also going to go to the gym 3 days a week with full body split Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Remember, the goal for the rest of January is to get a baseline of my body before I start the real cut in February. And the main reason why I am trying to stick at maintenance calories in January is because when I was losing weight last year, I got down to quite a big deficit. So I was walking 20,000 steps a day, and I was eating a maximum of 1,800 calories a day, which was very aggressive. And this year, I want to do things properly. I want to go on a diet on the highest amount of calories possible, because when I achieve even the same weight I did in last year, this year on higher calories, I will be in a much better position to carry on my cut. I will look fuller, my muscles won't look flat, and I should be at a lower body fat percentage at the same weight in this year's journey. So week 3 and 4 is going to be where everything is dialed in. So my calories and nutrition will be on point. I have no more socials or work events that will get in the way. I will go to the gym 3 days a week, and I will achieve my 10,000 steps a day step count goal. I'm looking forward to seeing where I'm at the end of January. And if you'd love to follow my journey, please subscribe and like the video, and comment down below if there's anything you would like me to talk about, anything you would like me to change in my editing, or just anything you would like to know about me. Every week, I will have an honest review of my previous week. So there's going to be no sugarcoating anything. I'm going to say what went well, what did not go well, and what I could improve on in the following week. If this sounds interesting to you, please subscribe and follow my journey. And I'll see you in next week's check-in on Sunday at 7 p.m.